Poor Annie, she don't know anything about Camp Crystal Lake, the bloodshed, the crazed dread. She has no idea that she will face a woman named Miss Voorhees. And here comes a machete when we cut to Alice, who wishes she was a million miles from camp. But Steve says, wait just a minute. How about you give it a few days? If you're not happy after a week, I'll put you on the bus myself. But Alice and them waited too damn long, because they just do not know anything about Camp Crystal Lake, the bloodshed, the crazed dread, the fact that Mrs. Voorhees is wanting revenge for Jason's death and has a machete of the week. I'm John Renton with the retro review of Friday the 13th, 1980, the one that started all, provided that anybody is still tuned in. Despite my terrible rendition of All American Rejects Flavor of the Week, I apologize for butchering your eardrums. I will continue to do so, though, because these musical intros are a lot of fun. But that song is way in the future, because this is in the past, the distant past, the not too distant past, actually very distant past. 41 years ago, this movie came out, and it started all. And man, the Friday the 13th series with Jason and his hockey mask has been up and down, all around, and into space. Jason in space. Check out my Jason X review if you'd like to. Man, that was really fun to revisit, except it totally wasn't because it was really fucking bad. But this one, directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who directed A Stranger is Watching, The New Kids, and Deep Star 6, which was at least better than Leviathan. It was one of the better Abyss knockoffs. And I'm not talking about the monster Abyss, I'm talking about the movie The Abyss. Even though I thought The Abyss was overrated, I look forward to the comments just ripping me apart. So, written by Victor Miller, who wrote A Stranger is Watching. So, A Stranger is Watching got a lot of love later in the future, and Another World. So, Betsy Palmer plays Mrs. Voorhees. And apparently, if you read up on that, was thinking this was kind of beneath her and everything, but she, before her death, learned to embrace it and everything, and understood this kind of gave her a bit of a new life and, you know, a new audience that appreciated her work. Not just in slashers, but her work before. So we have Adrienne King playing Alice, and Alice doesn't live here anymore, but she does live through the whole goddamn thing. Sorry, spoilers, this movie's been out for 41 fucking years. We have Janine Taylor playing Marcy. We have Robbie Morgan playing Annie. Annie is not okay. She's not okay. She's being stabbed in the woods. And Kevin Bacon was in this. Yes, Kevin Bacon, believe it or not, was in this before, you know, we would get 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. And well before he did You Should Have Left. If you've seen that, I'm sorry, it was shit. So we get Harry Crosby, we get you know, Laurie Bartman, or Bartran, I believe. I'm sorry, do the Bartman. And Mark Nelson, and makeup effects by Tom Savini. Tom effects by Makeup Savini. I'm just going to go with that. So yeah, it's the one that started it all, and I'm not going to give a huge plot rundown, because basically it's set at Camp Crystal Lake, and after a series of events in 1958, that looked strikingly like 1980, because I'm thinking that either they only had a little bit of time to make this movie or they had no goddamn budget. I'm going with both. They decided to just have the 1980 version of 1958, where there really weren't any different fashions. Everybody had high-cut shorts, and that was just the guys. And basically, a young boy named Jason Voorhees dies while swimming. Because why would you be paying attention to what you're doing? Let's just have everybody knock knees. Actually, that wouldn't be knocking knees. I'm not going to try to knock knees on here because I can't do the Dude Love Dance. Moving on from that. So, yeah, the hair, the styles, the, you know, the fashions and everything, it just screams 1980, but we're just going to say 1958. And are you going to be able to tell the difference? No, because you're going to be too drunk and high while watching this. I mean, you can be, by the way, if you want. I don't do that stuff, but I think some people that made this movie were. Now, to be fair, this movie actually was one of the better slashers, and for a period of years, the Jason movies actually were pretty good as far as being grounded in pseudo-reality, until we got to where he's resurrected by lightning, thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Jason is resurrected. I really am screwing up a whole bunch of songs here. Somehow 1980 looked more 50s in the opener, because seriously, if you after those counselors were killed, Smash Cut 2, and actually I think it really was 1980, but still, the whole point is Smash Cut 2, counselors being killed because, why the fuck not, because somebody's son decided to be murdered. It was murder. They didn't take care of my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. And in 1980, somehow, when they flash back to the present, or they flash forward to the present day, they have a shot of the city that somehow looks almost like the 1940s. It was like they had updated. It's like Ocean Shores. If you've been to Ocean Shores, Washington, you would know. So, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? She's been struck by a not-seen criminal. And town drunk Ralph is like, it's like Camp Blood. It's got a death curse and everything. And then this guy named Enos, because every town that's like this is backwoods, he has to have a guy named Enos. He's dead, sorry. So he has the biggest truck, I think, of the 1980s that wasn't a semi. Seriously, he needed to pay for 5 parking spaces at his own place just to park that damn thing. It's fucking huge. Kind of reminded me of a truck my dad had. It was just like insane. But anyway, Annie, she doesn't really know much of anything because she's just tugging a bunch and everything and to this guy Enos, and then he has to let her out because he only lives, part way up the road. And then she gets another ride from somebody, and it turns out this Mrs. Voorhees. We don't see the driver, and she's like, wait a second, we passed the camp, and oh no, I'm supposed to be the cook, and I'm going to jump out despite my stuff being there. I'm going to shatter my femurs, and then I got gutted here. And that was pretty much it right there for Annie, so they have no cook. Oh no. Steve was, by the way, as the boss of this whole thing, reopening a camp, that ended with a whole lot of bloodshed. Good job there, Steve. He was wearing shorts that were way, way, way too short. Seriously, it was fucking frightening. And Alice doesn't want to be here. Alice not only doesn't want to live anymore, she doesn't want to be in Wonderland, she doesn't want to be around. She doesn't want to have a bowl haircut, though. Seriously, you could pop that hair off. Who am I to talk about somebody's hair? And you could serve salad in it. Maybe you could toss salad in it. I'm not here to kink shame much. And Annie basically ends up dying, which is kind of funny. And then Kevin Bacon and Speedos. I never wanted to fucking see that. That was causing different kind of tremors, as in, I'm not saying that Kevin Bacon wasn't in really good shape. He was just never my cup of tea. And seriously, I'm glad that the big amount of hair was on his head. Have fun on seeing that, by the way, folks. So, there's the usual hijinks and everything. There's various characters, the jocks and stuff like that. I will argue that Sleepaway Camp was a better slasher than this. Definitely had a better ending. And you can come at me in the comments if you want. But this was pretty effective. It basically required you to not give a shit about the characters, which is Slasher Movie 101. So, of course, there was a guy named Ned that ended up, the only way a guy named Ned can get any kind of action is to pretend to be, drowning and everything, and then pass out and take advantage of a woman. Good job there, Ned, you fucking creep. As if Ned, as if any guy named Ned is a problem. They aren't. I know plenty of cool people named Ned. So anyway, there was a snake in there, Sneaky Sneck, which was the best actor in the movie so far. And was just there and then got killed, because why the fuck not? How do you call a snake? Well, some women can do... Moving on from that. So, there's a police guy. I don't know if he's a chief. I don't know what it is. He shows up. He says a few things. He doesn't show up again, by the way. This motorcycle cop doesn't show up again. He just decides to go out there. Oh, you're opening up the camp. Oh, you shouldn't be smoking that weed and stuff like that. And he doesn't understand. He motorcycles as well as I can break dance. He motorcycles well. We should start seeing motorcycles, Mike. And then I don't know how Ralph the town drunk / conspiracy theorist got in the closet. I really don't know how he got in there. He got in the pantry somehow, didn't make a bunch of noise and everything, and the iconic thing of, you're doomed, you're all doomed, I'm gonna ride away. Fly, monkeys, fly. Why not just make a bunch of weird references? It's gonna storm, despite the fact that it was all sunny out at the time. And then they show random shots of somewhere else where it was storming, and then they just threw rain down on everything. Literally, why does it always rain on me? And then we have Kevin Bacon's character and his girlfriend is footloose, put on your log jam shoes. Oh, please, Louise. It's like, you broke off me at the knees. Boy, that just horribly, but I should review Footloose and see how many different renditions I can come up with of that. So, anyway, so she was getting some bacon in her diet, if you know what I mean, and then he got stabbed through the goddamn, throat in the mattress. That mattress must have been like razor fucking thin, by the way. It wasn't as good as Johnny Depp's death in, for, I believe, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I did kind of find it funny how they just, suddenly people are just dying. Like, Ned's dead, and really dead this time, so good luck, Ned. You know, I mean, anybody named Ned, if they want to die in a movie, it's not really a loss. I don't know what anybody named Ned did to me. But then Mrs. Voorhees just out there, just wandering around, for absolutely no reason. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Oh wait, she stabbed Kevin Bacon because he was smoking weed and she wanted him to air the room out. So she aired him out by stabbing him in the neck. Ouch. I guess she's a vegan. Nothing wrong with being a vegan, by the way. So, it was kind of funny though. Another girl gets an axe through the goddamn nose in the shower. See, that's what you get for using the wrong shampoo. She's zestfully dead, folks. And then we get a version of Strip Monopoly, because that's just what we need to see from people in the 1980s, specifically 1980. Boy, goddamn, there was a lot of rain being dropped on that road, because Steve was, for whatever reason, leaving these people completely in the care of like a camp that was drenched in blood at one point, and just goes off to a diner that's seemingly in the middle of nowhere, not near a camp, in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's like no rhyme or reason to the geography. But he tries to take his trailer back and everything. That can't work. A cop has to take him back there. While all this is going on, people are dying left and right. This was filmed night for night. There were literally moments where I'm like, is my TV too dark? What the hell is going on here? I don't remember the movie being this goddamn dark. Also, fun fact, listen to the intro. Listen to the intro music, and then listen to the Psycho theme. Listen to the Psycho opening. Same goddamn thing. Somebody was a fan of Psycho. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, because Psycho's pretty fucking terrific. But there's a lot of influence there. But Tom Savini's makeup effects were pretty damn good here. Good gore effects. Alice was the type that just didn't seem to understand how basic things work. She would start like eight different tasks and not come back to them, in 2 or 3 hours and then forget what the fuck she was doing. I feel personally attacked by myself. So Alice and Bill go on the search while other people are dead or dying. And then cops talking to Steve says, well, it's Friday the 13th and a full moon. Great, Jason's going to turn into a werewolf. You know what? It's about the only other thing they could have fucking done is have him turn into a goddamn werewolf. An American werewolf at Camp Crystal Lake. God, they would do that. So it's Steve and Deddy, rather. And he dies quickly, easily, off camera, but still. And then Bill was the kind of guy who basically would be outsmarted by a lobotomized squirrel, is what I wrote down, and he was outsmarted by basic physics. He was killed, and the director just ducked out early, so said, Alice, just do a bunch of shit around the house, make coffee. I don't know, make coffee, use our sponsor. We got to get money for this shit, and I'll be back in a bit. This scene went on a bit, and it's like, okay, we could have cut some of this stuff out and not missed shit. Could have cut out about 15 minutes of this movie and made a nice breezy 80 minutes. But it is what it is. We get to know that people make coffee for no reason. I don't know why I went on about that, because this movie actually was good. It was just meandering at times. So anyway, Alice is spooked by, well, the Psycho music, because she's like, my God, somebody ripped off Alfred Hitchcock, and his ghost is going to come back and do stuff. If you know anything about Alfred Hitchcock, Alfred Hitchcock, one of my favorite directors, but goddamn. So anyway, she ends up just throwing a bunch of stuff in the door, or in front of the door and everything, and tying a rope stuff. It's like tying a rope to the handle, the worst doorstop ever. And then the killer tries to attack her, and she tosses a shoe. Who tosses a shoe, honestly? And then she's like, I'm Mrs. Voorhees. I'm a old friend of the Christies. Jason was my son, and she goes off on this whole thing. Betsy Palmer chews the goddamn scenery at the end of this. It's fucking terrific. It's just great. She just goes on this. But here's my question. She dispatched all these other idiots. How the fuck could she not have dispatched somebody with a salad bowl in her goddamn head? And I don't understand it. Like, she couldn't kill the dumbest and weakest character out of them. And I guess, again, another slasher movie 101 thing, but she's like, don't let her get away, Mommy. I won't, Jason. I won't, Jason. I think the dad's invading again. Anyway, it's good old, it's just good old fashioned chasing and everything. Outhouse fever. And then, at one point she hits her with a pan, proving that Betsy Palmer was pan fried during this. I'm proud of these puns. I'm just trying to get to the end of the review here, and well, she ends up decapitating her right away. this version of Decap Attack is just fucking silly and everything. It was in years before the Genesis. Man, the Atari had some weird games, like E.T. that sunk the whole goddamn thing. And then Jason attacks her in the canoe. Jason and the Canoenauts, no, can you believe it? Or am I just seeing things? And she's in the hospital. Well, where was the boy? The boy. Oh, God damn it, Kratos, no. And then she's just panicking and everything. Is everybody dead? Yes, everybody's dead. And she's like, she basically freaks out and stuff like that. And it turns out that Jason actually still is in the lake and then gets resurrected later. But it does kind of make me laugh at the end or at the beginning of Scream. Oh no, Mrs. Voorhees was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel. So that's what this always reminds me of. But yeah, that was pretty much it for Friday the 13th, 1980. And I'm going to continue to do some of these horror movies for Horror Movie Month and stuff like that. Up, down, all around. Come on, defense work. But let me know your thoughts on Friday the 13th in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.